Hello, everyone. How's it going today? Just getting started. A couple minutes late. Had a couple technical difficulties when trying to sort out the new little, there we go, keystroke overlay. Very rudimentary at the moment, but just wanted to make sure I had something up so when I'm going through with the lessons for Unreal Engine, which again, lessons that I'm learning from, you can kind of follow along with my keystrokes. Probably change it up a little bit in the future, maybe customize some colors or maybe just do like an input history, but right now this was the best I was able to sort out. So let's bring open the lesson again. Getting that opened up. All right. Of course, got to open up Unreal itself. Oh, also, forgot, of course, we have our guest, Siren, on the cat cam. There we go. Be a little bit of adjusting there. Get a good view of her. She loves being a part of the stream. At least she loves hanging out on the desk here. It's a little bright there, isn't it? I did have to delete the camera configuration software for that because it just kept coming up on launch and it was taking a lot of resources. I forgot I needed to just configure that in OBS itself. That's, I don't know, let's see. You guys can take a look. Quick. Configure. You bring the brightness down on her a little bit. She's just kind of, I don't know, maybe the gamma? Yeah, I think that's it. Bring the gamma down a little bit. That's probably the best it's honestly going to get with this crappy little ONN camera on. I don't know how that's pronounced. I just call it ONN. All right, so back to the beginner project. Get that over here, this here. Drag this over. The cat cam width. Perfect. And you know what? I could probably move this over here. There we go. Really no reason to have to look at all the lessons anyway. It's a good spot to keep that. It's out of the way of everything else. The only thing in the way is a big dome right here. Okay. Okay, let's pause the music here for now. To adjust the volume here. I feel like it was a little quiet last time.
Next, let's go over how to use the vector variable. For this example, I just want to close our BP example blueprint that we made, and if we click Control Space, open up the content drawer and head to the third person character, we're going to create the variable inside of them. So if we just go add variable, and let's call this vector, and under variable type,
probably fine.
Just change this to be a vector.
Okay. So last we left off, I had just finished Booleans, integers, and name and text. Oh no, we did finish the vector rotation and transform as well. Forgot about that. Okay. That's right. It's messing with the height. on Manny, I think is the name of the default on controller player character thingy. Okay, so we're going to go to delay nodes now. Probably review everything done so far. This is just all the basics. Introduction to blueprints, viewport. It was really just going over all the basics of how to navigate through Unreal Engine itself. And of course, Booleans, we were able to set conditions of, I think we were using colors of spheres. So depending on the Boolean, if one Boolean was true or false, it would change one sphere to red or blue for true or false. And then same with integers. We were also adjusting based off of a certain number range. And using that number range, it was going through a couple different colors more than just the two with true or false. Because if you're doing Booleans, you really only need to have true or false. There's no need to implement an integer as far as making it a condition or using the integer as a condition. But if you're having more than just two options, it seemed like integers is where that really came in handy. And same with based on the name. You know, you can set conditions of things based on the name, as well as being able to label things like text, like floating text above. Oh, the text got eaten up here. I think where's that text? Here somewhere. Spelled text right. I might have deleted it, actually. Maybe we got rid of the text. I don't know why I thought we didn't. Oh, the text is still there. I think it was one that made it, yep, real tall. Okay. But the text was here somewhere. I think it's just based on runtime, was it? It was based on runtime. I think once it actually, no, because it's not in construction. It wouldn't be under there. It would probably be under the ball, right? So edit, construction, yep. I just set the world scale. It didn't actually affect the text that was above it. Oh, begin play, set text. Okay, text render, variable, okay. And then the text here. Yep, okay. See, I am text. So it doesn't actually appear until runtime that we did it. Oh, no, okay, I had that backwards. So the construction script is always going to be active. Whereas the event graph, if I set it as being active on begin play, that's what determines if it's going to start at runtime or if it's always that way. Which I think the construction script, which makes sense because you're constructing things with it, but I think the construction script was so that you can have variations of the same asset just based on the construction of it, based on the construction script. Yeah, so that example, they're all different, right? No, because that does say I am text as well. I am text. You had it based on the integer? Okay, I remember now. We have it visible. Yep, here we go in the inspector. Okay, so that's how you set the variation. You just change it in the inspector down. So the default for that is I am text. And in the inspector, when you place them separately, you can come down here and change what that specific instance of that blueprint actor, technically. Okay, there we go. You can change what the variation of that actor is, of that instance of actor in the inspector here. Okay, cool. That was name and text and vector and rotation, transformation. Of course, you saw changing that at runtime. space simply. Here's a very the simple example that we used last time was just pressing 1 to change the transform, and same with you can change the rotation or the vector, which is the vector is just the position in the world. Rotation is, of course, rotation. Transform is how big, small proportions of it, and that's all that can be changed based on an input or an event or condition, something else. So a lot of these can be combined and interwoven as needed. Okay. Thank you for listening. That review was more so for me, just remembering. That's the whole point of this, so that I can kind of talk myself through how this is going and what I remember about it. And hopefully, me verbalizing that helps anyone else here also trying to learn the same thing. Because again, I'm not an expert. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm a complete beginner. And I'm just going through these lessons to teach myself and have others watch me learn and maybe learn the same things along the way. Okay. So, delay nodes. That's right.
In this next section, we're going to be going over some of the basic nodes that you're probably going to end up using when you create a game inside Unreal Engine. So let's get started. If we open up our content drawer and head over to our BP example, nodes are these events that we've been using, such as the event tick, this switch on int, this open level, this delay, and nodes allow us to perform and execute certain events. So like I said, we're going to be going over some of the basic nodes that I think everyone should know when they're creating a project inside Unreal. So to get started, if we just delete everything here, apart from the event begin play, and the first node I want to show you is the delay node, and we use...
Okay. And that was within, sorry, is that a new blueprint? BP example. No, it's just the ball. All right, so we're going to get rid of that set text.
This previously, although I just want to explain this one more time as you may end up using it a lot. So if we just go event begin play and then just drag up here and look for delay. After this delay, this node is going to perform whatever is after this completed event. So if I make my duration here, after 2 seconds, it's going to perform whatever's after here. So if I just drag up here and look for print string and make this say hello, and if I go compile and
pause that, let's get this a little bit more organized. Bring this up here. We already have a delay node that we used last time. That's right, because it was on begin play. Actually, I think we had that bound to the number 1 key. We were just using the 1 key as an example for triggering what needs to be done code-wise here, blueprint-wise. So instead, we're going to do get off of begin play as the event instead of pressing 1, the event. Makes sense. Okay.
and go play. After 2 seconds, it's going to say, oh, whoops. I just need to drag my sphere into my world. Just drag off here and look for print string and make this say hello. And if I go compile and go play, after 2 seconds, it's going to say, oh, whoops. I just need to drag my sphere into my world here. And if I go play, and after 2 seconds, it's going to print string hello. The other type.
Okay, so since I have 3, I wonder if it's going to print 3 of them. Hit play. Yep. Oh, I didn't even set the delay, so it did it immediately. 0.2 seconds. So 3 seconds. So it should print them all at the same time. Compile, save, play. And there we go. And that was just right in the corner right here. Watch, do it again. As far as I know, it's mainly for like debugging. Yeah. Good way to test if an event is firing properly without having to actually go through whatever you actually want it to do. Like rather than having it actually transform something, that's what you were trying to do. You can just have it that text. It's a good method of debugging.
Type of delay I want to show you is the retrievable delay. To showcase how this works, if we go over to our content drawer,
I do want to see if I can set that as instance editable, right? I think that's how it was. Yeah, instance editable. Okay. So let's make a new variable. Delay timer. Integer. Instance editable. Okay. So by default, that's 0. Get delay timer. Hook that in there. Oh. Is this conversion here? Oh, it's a float. Makes sense because times can have decimals in them. There's milliseconds to consider. So float makes more sense. Oh yeah, I forgot I can just highlight over it, drag it in, drop it there. Okay. Right, and if I were to leave the default as 0, but if I were to come here, delay timer, we'll set that at 1. This one will be 2. And this one will be 3. Save and compile that. Did not. Save, compile. Cool. All right. So if I hit play, should 1, 2. Where's the third one? That's weird. It's editable. 2. Oh, it did fire off. It just, the first one disappeared at the exact second that the second one came in. Okay, that makes sense. Way to duration. Okay, yeah. So we'll change that to 5 seconds. Got it. Makes sense. Okay. Play. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Cool. That does work. All right. So I think I have a pretty good grasp on instance editable properties. All righty. Probably close third person character for now. You just leave that. I'm happy with that. That's fine. I don't really, doesn't bother anything.
And go to our BP _ third person character.
Just close that. What I get for trying to outsmart the tutorial.
And let's just delete anything we were previously using. And if we just right click and look for event, begin, play.
It's just that, right? There's nothing else we were messing with. Okay, yeah, it was just that.
And just drag off here and look for a retrievable delay.
Said retriggerable delay? Retriggerable. Yep, is what he said. Triggerable delay. Okay.
A retrievable delay will kind of work the same as a delay. However, if this delay is called again, then it's going to reset this. So let's say I have a retrievable.
Oh, and then it was begin play, right? Yeah, event in play. Okay.
Retrievable delay of 3 seconds. And after 3 seconds, I'm going to make it print string the word hello world. And then if I just right click and press the 1 and look for keyboard events 1 and just hook this up to pressed, If I keep on pressing this one button, it's going to reset this retrievable delay. So this will only fire if it's not called again. So to showcase this, if I go compile and I go play, if I continuously press 1, it's never going to fire because I keep on resetting the retrievable delay. However, if I let go and let 3 seconds pass, so I'll let go now, after 3 seconds, it's going to say hello world. So it says hello world.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how the retrievable delay is. Sometimes you may want to use a normal delay, sometimes you may want to use a retrievable delay.
Okay. Retriggerable delay would be best used. Let's see, what are some good examples of a retriggerable delay? Um, like a combo, a game, or like a charge up, maybe. No, because a lot of those you want to have a consistently set timer and then have it trigger in the middle and queue up another delay. I guess that's really what you would do with like a combo or even like a crafting recipe. I'm trying to think of good examples of doing a retriggerable delay. You have to like actually wait. Can't really think of any off the top of my head.
In this next section, we're going to be going over some of the basic nodes that you're probably going to end up using when you create a game inside Unreal Engine. So let's get started. If we open up our content drawer and head over to our BP.
Pause that for a second. Let me just make sure. Let's see here. It seems like it is going all right. Sorry, 1 second. Forgot to check to make sure the YouTube stream is actually working. Because last time it cut off midway through, but that's because I was encoding on my CPU instead of my GPU, rather than the GPU encoding that was already set by default in OBS. Because the second stream is set up through Stream Elements, and that had its own settings I had to configure. So, okay, yep, that is going just fine. And yeah, okay, I'll change all that customization a little bit later, but it's working, it's streaming, so we're good.
The example. Nodes are these events that we've been using, such as the event tick, this switch on int, this open level, this delay, and nodes allow us to perform and execute certain events. So like I said, we're going to be going over some of the basic nodes that I think everyone should know when they're creating a project inside Unreal. So to get started, if we just delete everything here, apart from the event begin play, and the first node I want to show you is the delay node.
Did we not just do this? It just replayed, I guess? Okay. Flip-flop.
So the next node I want to show you is the flip-flop node. So if we
Okay.
just delete this,
I wish it would play. I wish it would keep playing
and
whenever I open
delete our
that.
event begin play. When we press the one button, we're going to look for the flip-flop node. So we'll look for flip-flop. And the way the flip-flop node works is whenever we call this, first it's going to do A, and then it's going to do B. So to showcase how we could use this, if I just drag in my mesh and look for set material,
Interesting.
and just duplicate this, so I'll press Ctrl C and Ctrl V. The first time I press this, we're going to make it change the player character's material to be this mi_cube01. Second time we press this, we're going to make our character's material be this mi_cube02 material. And now if I go compile and go play, if I press 1, first I become yellow. If I press 1 again, then it'll go blue. And
That's pretty sweet. All right, so we're doing the one key keyboard event, and that's under third person. Did he delete? He did delete that. Okay. Yeah, I don't. It's just makes sense. It's just an example. Actually, he deleted all that. We'll do that here. Flip, flop. There we go. And set material. Material mesh. Right? Material mesh. Okay. Here, here, select material. I don't see the material he's referring to. It's probably not in this. Okay, that's a different color. Yeah, the material he's referring to is not here, but do this. So that yellow material that looks like it's obviously made for Manny. And this one also looking like it's made for Manny. File, save. Screw it, save this. These the little asterisks right there. Just my self-diagnosed OCD never wants to see those. Save. Okay, play. And 1. Oh, 2. Okay, we flopping, flipping and flopping. It does seem like there's like a separate material on top of Manny, kind of like a leotard type situation. It's a different material. That's not changing. But that works. It's flip flopping. I'm only pressing 1, as you can see on the overlay. That's why we got it there. It works. Sweet. Okay. What other materials are there? Just want to take a look here. Simple glow. Radiant glow. I don't know. Why not? Let's try it. File, save, play. Oh. Oh, Manny. What happened? Manny has ascended. Also, the the ghosting blur is insane. Wow. Manny, you oh my gosh. That is the most egregious ghosting I've seen in any Unreal anything. That's crazy. That's by default too. Oh my gosh. Manny, keep your cool. Don't lose it. Don't. This is what this right here is what it feels like when you've got like 4 different things that you need to do, and you're just kind of going back and forth. Like, oh, I got to do that. No, and that. Oh, no, to do that, I got to do this, and that. Just the ADHD is so well visually represented just by doing this. That's what my mind feels like when I have to go back and forth between a bunch of different things because my brain is just unorganized sometimes. All right, let's get back to your regular colors. Or you know what? Let's just do blue and red. Hey, making skins out here. See, Marvel Rivals, you can hire me. Look at that. See, I can make a skin. Great quality too. Sending you my resume. let's get back to it.
Our character's material be this MI Cube 02 material. And now if I go compile and go play, if I press 1, first I become yellow. If I press 1 again, then it'll go blue. And as I continuously press 1, it's going to flip-flop between executing those two different commands. So we could add different commands here, but that's basically the way the flip-flop node works. Whilst we're here, I'll also go over how the material node works. So if we go to our viewport and select my character, some meshes will have multiple materials inside of them. So you can see this character is made up of two materials, element 0 and element 1. If we head over to our event graph, we can
Oh, those are the, yep. See, I was saying that it looked like it was two different materials. Element 0, element 1. Okay. Okay, so can I split this? Yeah, how would I change the second material? I'm sure he's about to tell me right now. If I just listen, I would imagine he's about to tell me.
see in our set material, we're changing element 0. I could change this to be element 1, and this will change whatever is assigned to element 1 in my player character's material.
Okay.
So I'll just make this 1, and now if I go compile and go play, we can see it will change a different part of the player character.
That makes sense. I would have just listened, trying to get ahead of it, apparently. Boom. Boom. Oh, look at that. Yeah, see? Marvel, come on. Reach out to me. I'm a professional skin artist at this point. You see that? Red, blue. What else you need? Look out for Red Blue Manny in next season's Battle Pass. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's the end of the lesson. Okay. Next lesson.
So the next node I want to show you is the sequence node. And as the name suggests, it executes things in sequences. So if we go to our content drawer and go to our BP example, we can just delete everything here. And event begin play, we're going to look for the sequence node. So just look for sequence.
Okay. BP example. Rid of that. Sequence.
And as we can see, the sequence node works by executing what's ever here, then what's ever here. We can easily add more sequences by clicking this add pin. And we can easily remove sequences by just simply right-clicking on any pin that we want to remove and clicking remove execution pin. So event begin play, I can make the sphere print string, the word hello.
So is there any reason to use a flip-flop over a sequence? I'd imagine maybe the sequence node is a little bit slightly more resource intensive. Like, what's the difference between just having that and a flip-flop? I don't know. Let's consult Google. Okay. In Unreal 5, both sequence and flip-flop nodes are used for flow control, but they serve different purposes and have distinct performance characteristics. Sequence nodes execute a series of actions in a specific order, while flip-flop nodes toggle between two execution paths each time they are triggered. While neither has a significant performance overhead in most common use cases, understanding their difference is crucial for efficient blueprint scripting. All right. So it doesn't really seem like there's much of a difference, but I mean, it's not like you can have a sequence node and have it only start at 3 minimum. That would feel kind of like a silly restriction. But then why have a flip-flop node? If the sequence node already exists, just an option, I guess, just more options.
And then maybe I can get my sphere and set its mesh So we can look for set static mesh and change its mesh to be a cone.
Did print string. Set mesh. We don't have a comb, but we do have a cube. Difference here. Some chamfer cube. What in the hay is a chamfer? Back to Google. A chamfer is a transitional edge created by beveling or sloping a sharp edge or corner. It is essentially a flat angled surface that replaces a sharp 90-degree corner. This angled edge is often created at a 45-degree angle, but it can be made at other angles as well. Okay, so it's just a bevel. So that just means it's just like a beveled, got beveled curves at the edges. So many weird words that I'm learning.
And then after I've done that, I can maybe set its material to be a different color. So this pink. And then I'll
Set material of the sphere. I don't have pink, but we'll go blue.
after I've done that, that can be it. So I'll just right click and remove this. Cool. And go compile.
So it is a little, it's getting a little crowded here. I don't really need this anymore. Yeah, we really don't need that. Like I want to just sit here and organize it. I wanted to make it look pretty, but I'm going to waste so much time doing that. So that should probably be reserved for an actual project. Oh, play. Whoa! Okay, so I did something wrong. All right, let's go red, blue, Manny. See? Yes, it is chamfered. It makes sense. Beveled. Red, blue, Manny's on the case. We figured it out. Okay, so red, blue, Manny. We're going to have to, oh, I could, oh, that's begin play. Well, silly me. He did say begin play, I'm pretty sure. Let's change that to keyboard event 2. All right. Alt click. I remember that now to disconnect that. Put you right there, front of the line. Okay, compile, save, play. All right. 2. That is not working. That is not working.
And
why is that not working?
Make my sphere a bit smaller because I made it really big. And now we just go compile and drag this into our world. And we can just go simulate.
This is just BP example, right? Yeah.
We can see it will turn to a cone and then turn pink. That happened a bit fast, so what we can do is we can add some delays. So we can...
Okay, so let's go back, review what he was doing here, and compare.
Sequence. And as we can see, the sequence node works by executing what's ever here, then what's ever here. We can easily add more sequences by clicking this add pin. And we can easily remove sequences by just simply right-clicking on any one of them that we want to remove and clicking Remove Execution Pin. So event begin play, I can make the sphere print string, the word hello, and then maybe I can get my sphere and set its mesh. So we can look for set static mesh and change its mesh to be a cone. And then after I've done that, I can maybe set its material to be a different color, so this pink. And then after I've done that, that can be it. So I'll just right click and
Okay, well let's get rid of that. Go back to begin play. Because it was working on begin play, right? Yeah, look at see, that worked fine. I don't know why the keyboard event wasn't triggering it. It's weird. I want to know why the keyboard event wasn't triggering. Again, it just doesn't work. Like I'm pressing 2, right? Yeah, you see me pressing 2. I don't know why that's not working. I genuinely don't. Is there something, is this a different kind of keyboard event? Oh, those look like identical types of keyboard events. I really don't know why that's not working. So let's this then, I guess. Bypass that. File, save. I'm also not getting my hello world either. It's connected here. I know why. Because I'm under BP example, which is the sphere, and my controls are set through here. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah. So in order, yeah, this key this can't be accessed because there's no control scheme for actually having. Yeah. This view, man, what is going on with having bots come in and post links to viewers or like viewer bots or viewer selling? Okay. Let's go ban and delete. Cool. Come in here posting links to sell something or some service, you're getting banned permanently. Like that's it. I feel like that's a pretty healthy ground rule to have. I don't know where those links go. I don't want anyone seeing those links and clicking on it and accidentally losing all their information. So posting some sketchy links in here, that's a ban. Believe it or not, ban. Right to ban.
remove this and go compile. And if I just make my sphere a bit smaller, because I made it really
right
big.
to jail.
And now if we just go compile.
All right. So that makes sense why that didn't work. I'm going to delete that. Just go back to event begin play here. I think he was putting in delays, right? That's what he was doing. Oh no, the delays are up here. Okay.
We can add some delays. So we can just, before we turn this to a sphere, we can add a delay of say 1 second. And then after it's executed this, we'll have another delay and we'll make this 2 seconds.
Makes sense. Wait, does that automatically put it in the middle here? I thought maybe it would branch or something. Let's bring that over here, 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 here. Oh my gosh, so much more organized. That's so satisfying. All right, go delay. Oh yeah, it does just put one in the middle. I don't know why I thought I was going to try to branch or something. Oh my goodness. Oh, I did look up that you could double click, boom, make a little, I think called a reroute node. Just so much more organized. So much more organized. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's amazing. Love that. Just put that over here. Makes it visually make a bit more sense. Put a delay. Oh, that's right. Let's break that. Okay, just delete that. I don't really need. There we go. This is essentially acting as a reroute node. But yeah, so you see right here, bigger, double click, boom. I just control Z that. Yes, I can. Sweet. All right, we'll do 1, 2. Sweet. Okay, save. And yeah, I think we can get rid of these now. And go to BP example, viewport. Did I set the size differently? Okay, just go to 1 and 1. Save. All right. Eesh. Put that in front of plate. Yep. Yep. Amazing. Programming master. Oh, that's right. Let me also check real quick. On this. Sure that is clear. Okay. That is looking pretty clear. All right. I was getting a bit rate warning about YouTube, which it's probably lower than it's supposed to be, but I'll fix that next time. Not a problem. All right, cool.
And then if we go compile, and we should be able to see everything a bit faster. So it's a circle, then turns to a cube, and then turns pink. So that's how we could just use the sequence node. We can use it to execute things in a sequence.
All right, do once.
So the next node I want to show you is the do once node. And to showcase how this works, if we just open up our third person character and go to where we made this flip-flop event, if we just drag off this where we press the 1 button and look for do once, And now go compile.
Sweet. Okay. Sorry, I had to bring this back up here. Back to the dashboard. Got my iPad in front of me. It's like an easy, just little dashboard. Stream manager. Cool. Okay. Easy.
And if I just
But you said do once. Okay. You said where are we dragging that off from? To the flip flop. In front of the flip flop. Okay. Once. Flip flop selected. Alrighty. Beautiful.
and if I just go play, and if I press 1, we can see I changed to yellow. However, if I press 1 again, it's not flip-flopping and changing between blue and yellow, and that is because of the do once that we added. So do once will only fire once. If you want to reset the do once, then we can plug something in here. So if I just right click and press 2, for example, and if I hook this up to the reset and go compile and go play and press 1, I'll switch to yellow. And if I press 2, it's going to reset the do once. So now if I press 1 again, it's going to change to blue.
Interesting. Okay. That's like a prime and a trigger. Or I should say that's a good application of it, is you can set like a prime, you can prime something with the first one and then trigger it with the second one. 2. Oh. Keyboard event 2. Good example would be pulling a pin on a grenade, throwing the grenade. Can't throw the grenade before you pull the pin on it. Boom. I guess you could technically. You wanted to set it that way, you know. No, because yeah, if you could do that with a flip flop, because you could set the first one as the pulling the pin, and the second one is actually throwing the grenade. Okay. Or like charging up Kamehameha, and the second one is actually firing that shit off. Ooh. Sometimes people say bad words.
So you can just use do once if you only want events to be executed once, and if you want to reset the do once, then you can just plug in.
I try not to as much as I can. Obviously, nobody's perfect, but I try not to needlessly cuss. Not because I'm like some holier than thou or for any religious reasons. I don't know. There's a lot of cussing already in the world. I try to minimize what I'm adding to it if it's not necessary.
A node or something to reset this.
But not knocking anyone that does. You want to speak how you want to speak, as long as you're not offending someone, hurting someone intentionally, or making someone the butt of your anger, especially through whatever way you want to speak, then that's fine. I'm not knocking you for that. I just personally try to leave more room for other people to cuss.
Do once.
Okay. Branches.
Hello. So the next node we're going to cover how to use is the branch node. We did go over how to use this when we created Boolean variables, although it's such a common node that I want to show you a shortcut on how you can create them very quickly. So if we open up our content drawer and go to the BP example, we can just delete everything here. And in order to quickly create a branch node, just select the B button on your keyboard, then left click and it will create a branch there. And just a quick recap, the branch node does what it says. So if we fire an event inside of here, if this condition is true, then it's going to fire off here. And if this condition is false, then it's going to fire off here.
I feel like we already went over that on the Boolean section, but it's fine. We have another section just for refreshing. Okay, because it is nodes, so that makes sense. He's going back through like nodes that he feels are essential. And even though it was outlined and covered in Boolean, it is an essential node. So that's probably useful that he went back through and highlighted that.
Next node I'm going to show you is the event begin overlap and the event end overlap. So if we go to our viewport, and we can just delete the sphere here and the text renderer here. And if we go to the construction script, we can just delete these nodes here. And if we go to our components, we're going to look for add and look for a box collision. And then if we select this box collision, we can scroll down.
Okay, before I get a little bit too behind. So we're going to, I think you said BP example, right? Yeah, BP example. The construct.
Script, we can just delete these nodes here.
Mhm.
And if we go to our components, we're going to look for add and look for a box collision. And then if we select this
Box collision. Does collision have two L's in it? It does, yep.
box collision, we can scroll down and we can see there are some events that we can assign to our box collision. So the most common events you'll probably be assigning to your box is on component begin overlap and on component end overlap. And we can assign
Makes
some
sense.
events to happen when a player character or an object overlaps this box and when they stop overlapping this box. So let's go over on component begin overlap. We just click this node. On component begin overlap, we can see there are loads of details here. We can then fire off a node when this condition is met. So on component begin overlap, I can just drag off here and look for print string.
In the construction script. Oh, it's in the event graph. Okay. Are we just deleting all this? We don't need this anymore, right? We've pretty much gotten the gist of that. Oh, right. On event begin app. Actor begin overlap? On component begin box. Okay. Okay. Oh, maybe I got to compile that first and save. I don't know why I keep wanting to hit enter to bring it up. It'd be nice if that was a key. No. Okay, I think I missed something.
And on that, we just click this node. On
you gotta press that first. Okay. I don't think he deleted all the other stuff. That's fine. On component begin overlap. Okay.
component begin overlap, we can see there are loads of details here. We can then fire off a node when this condition is met. So on component begin overlap, I can just drag off here and look for print string. And I'll make it say hello and just go compile. And if I just drag this into my world, we can see it is here. One thing with making box collision.
Oh, are you still so big? Oh, because I deleted the construction script. Oh. Let's bring that back down to 1. I'm assuming it is not up here. Okay. Back down to 1. Why are you so big, Mr. Fish? Oh, is this the spawn? It's a post-process volume. Okay. I think I read that it doesn't matter where in the world post-process volume is. Let me just reconfirm that. Yes, where you place a, okay. Not sure if this is correct. It says yes, where you place a post-process volume in Unreal Engine 5 significantly affects how it affects or applied to the scene. Post-process volumes are used to apply visual effects like color correction, bloom, etc. to a specific area in the game world. Huh. Okay. Oh, that's not what I meant. All right. I don't imagine it's going to change much if I move that here, right? Okay. Let's go back here. Let's make the box collision a bit bigger. Save, compile, and that like right over here. Cool.
If I click play, I'm not going to be able to see where this box collision is inside of my game. In order to fix that, we can just simply select it and then in details, look for hidden in game. And if we just uncheck this and go compile and go play, we should be able to see our boxes.
Interesting. I don't think I need to do that because I have the sphere already in the center, but he said that was under an in-game right here. Right here. Go ahead and let's just hit play. Hi. Hello. 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 Wait, so if I were to, hang on, were to come back down here and overlap, can I do the same thing but say goodbye? Print string. Goodbye. Save. All right, compile. Hello. Goodbye. Hey, look at that. Hello. Goodbye. Hello. Goodbye. Wait. Hello. And goodbye. Beautiful. Polite to greet your guests and to tell them goodbye when they leave. You don't want them feeling underappreciated.
Although we normally leave them hidden just so that we can't see them whilst we're in the game. Although once we made our final game, we can then make them all hidden again. So now if I just overlap this box, we can see it says hello. On component end overlap works kind of similarly. So if I just scroll down and go on component end overlap, once something's overlapped this box, if they leave it, then this node will fire. So on component end overlap, I can make this also say hello, and I'll just break the link here. Quick note, a quick way to break links is if I just click the Alt button and then the left mouse button, and it'll break any link that I've selected. And now if I go compile, go play, and let's enter this box and then leave, it'll print string the word hello. One thing with on component begin overlap is in order for this to work, if we just scroll up, the collision of our box will need to be on overlap just so that it can overlap actors. Another event you may use with meshes or collision is the on component hit, and this kind of works the same, although this time the collision would need to be blockable. So if I just change this to be blockable, and the way this works is when something hits this box collision, it will fire off here. So if I just drag off here and look for print string,
The difference.
and I'll just break the link here so I just know that I'm hitting it. And I'll just change this to be hit. And if I go compile and play this, if I hit this box, we can see that I'll print string the word hit.
I
So those are
see.
some
Okay, so
component events that you may want to use.
It blocks you from actually being able to go through. Okay. That makes more sense. Oh, that's right. I have to box collision. Component hit. Said vision to be okay. Block all. Cool. Save. Print string. Oh, ouch. Oh, wow. That just keeps going, don't it? Okay, so if I were to put a 2 ones right there, that's probably more akin to what I would be expecting. So it doesn't keep firing every time I'm touching it. Ouch. Okay. Is there a stop hitting? I could probably just do like a delay, but reset duration. 1 second. Sure. Ouch. I don't know why that's not working. Ouch. Okay. Yeah, it's not working. Oh, because the delay. Hang on. Do this. Hmm. Yeah, because nothing's re-triggering it. Maybe re-triggerable delay. Compile. Oh, did I not hit compile last time? Also not re-triggering. Hmm. Hmm. Am I able to oh wow, that is terrible to look at. I wonder if that works though. Let's try it. Ouch. Okay. Ouch. Yeah, it did work. Look at that. Ouch. 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 I guess realistically, if I wanted to do that and not make it look terrible, we would throw in a couple of these bad boys. Like so. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. Nice little loop. Ouch. 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 Amazing.
Use. Next node that I want to show you how to use is the print string node. So I normally use this for debugging purposes. So on component hit, if we want to check what our box has hit, what we can do is just drag in our other actor and hook this up to the print string, and it'll get us the name of what hit the box. So now I go compile and go play. If I hit this box, it's going to print string that I'm the BP third person.
Okay. Interesting. So we'll bring these back over here. Or you know what? Could just do this. Oof. Sorry, didn't mean to forget you there, little guy. Coming too. Other actor. Oh, that's right. It's there we go. Had to put it into the print string. Yep. Cool. Yeah, this is there is infinite uses for this, it seems like infinite uses for being able to detect when something hits another object and what it is, being able to overlap and come outside, like infinite uses. You know, doing checkpoints in a race or capturing a flag or entering an area to trigger a cutscene. Infinite uses.
Person character, and that is what hit the box. So I normally like to use print strings to debug things or let me know information about some of the blueprints that I've set up. Another thing we can do with print strings is we can currently see that whenever something print strings, that the color's blue and it stays on the screen for 2 seconds. We can change that here by, for example, I could change the text color here to be orange, and maybe I only want the print string to appear on the screen for 1 second. And now if I go compile and go play, if I trigger my print string, it will now be orange, and each print string will only last for 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, very useful. All right, for loop.
Hello, so the next node I want to show you is the for loop node. I'm going to showcase this with an example. So we go over to our content drawer and go to our third person character. We can just delete everything that we made previously. And then when we press the 1 button, just drag off here and look for loop. And the way the for loop node will work is it's going to fire this node however many times our last index is.
Okay, before we need to take in more information, let's go to where he told us to go to, the event graph for the BP third person character. That, delete that, for loop. For each, for loop. You said for loop.
So if I make this last index 5, it's going to fire this node 6 times. The reason it's going to fire this node 6 times
because it starts at 0. Indexes always start at 0. I do know that. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's firing 6 times.
It's because it counts 0 as a number. So just to showcase what I mean in case you didn't get it, I'm going to drag off this loop body and look for print string.
I can
hook up this index into here. This index basically will let us know what value of the for loop this is on. So now if I go compile and go play and press 1, it will fire 6 times, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because it counts 0 as a number. Once our for loop has finished firing, we can just drag off compile.
Okay. And string. It's just going to print the index.
Completed. And look for print string. And make this say completed. And now I go compile and go play. If I press 1, it's going to fire all those nodes and then go completed.
deleted. Is there a compile button? Control Alt. No. Make a change. F7. Oh, cool. Yep. Oh, last index. That's why. Why are we in the matrix? What did I do wrong? Um, excuse me. You were just supposed to count to 5, 6 technically, but 5. What did I do? Why are we in the matrix now? Maybe that was a mistake. Oh, I pressed F1. That's why. That's cool that it changes each time. Just a way to view it differently. Makes sense. I thought I took the blue pill or the red pill. Yeah, the red pill. I thought I accidentally took the red pill. That was scary. Okay.
So the for loop node is helpful if you want to repeatedly fire things in a certain range.
Oh, yep. Got it. Let's see if I can put a delay on that. Well, no, I guess there's not really a way to. Oh, no, I can. Right? No, because I think it's going to do the same. If I were to do a delay right here, I think all it's going to do is like wait and then just fire them off all at the same time again. Going to wait 1 second and then just fire off at the same time. Right? Where's the 6 coming from? What? uh, hmm. How would I delay that? Is there like an increment? Increment int? Okay. I guess this would come back to this would increment here. Can I expand this? Expand no. Whoa. Whoa, buddy. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. That was a lot. All right. So it seems like it's already just kind of built in there. Let's get rid of that. In here, expand node. Okay, it is incrementing, it seems. That over here, over here. Okay. Okay. This is just a bunch of nodes cobbled together. That's crazy. The for loop is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nodes in a trench coat trying to be one node. Excuse me, sir. I would like one ticket to print a string. We're not we're not we're not 6 nodes in a trench coat, I promise. Of course. Just come on in. Come on. Okay.
Hello. So the next node I want to show you is the for loop node.
Did that already?
Hello. So the next node we're going to cover is the timeline node. We can use the timeline node to make events happen over time. To showcase this example, we're going to create a door which will open. So to get started, if we head over to our content drawer and just right click and look for blueprint class, select an actor and call it BP underscore door. Once we've
All right. Making a door. I could probably delete this, right? Like, I don't think we need the for loop, which is a single node, I promise. Definitely not 6 nodes in a trench coat. It's actor, right? BP underscore door. Okay.
done this, we just double click and open it up and go to components and look for a cube. And just select this, select and scale objects, and just make this cube kind of look like a door. Again, if we want more precise precision over the scaling of it, we can go over here and just make this like a smaller option if we want to have more control over the cube when we change its scaling.
Okay. Add cube. 2? Nope. Nope. Didn't mean to rename it to 2. Now let's just call it door. We call it cube. Actually, let's keep it basic here. Now I think 2, 3, 1. What? Oh, it's okay. QWER. That's right. R. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. Set to 5. Oh, just disappeared on me. Change that to 1. Huh? Oh, and moving. Okay. 0.1. There we go. That's fine. And W. Ground level. It's looking flat. Cool. Save.
I'm just going to move my cube a bit up a bit. And if you want to, we can right click and rename components. So I'm going to rename this to door.
You did read to door. I thought maybe it'd be useful to keep it named as cube, so it just kind of reminds me what it's made of. But I mean, it's very obviously made of a cube, so I don't think I need that deep of a level of reminder. Door.
And the idea here is we're going to use the timeline node to make our door rotate over time. Although there's one more thing we want to do. Right now, if I try and rotate this door, it's rotating, although it's not rotating like a door would. Because of that, we're going to go to components and add another cube and just call this the door hinge. And we just want to scale this down a bit. Select the middle one to scale it down in all its axes. And just put this at the bottom corner of your door.
Okay. There's not a way to select all of them. Crazy. Oh, yep. There it is. Okay. Right here. Oh, just a little fella, huh? Can't even see you, little fella. Oh my gosh. All right, let's does it need to be visible? Like really? I'll make it visible just for sake, being able to tell where it is, learning, etc. Etc. Speak words. Okay. That's probably fine. Up bit. Cool.
And simply just drag this door and drag it into the door hinge. And the idea here is we're going to use the timeline node to make this door hinge rotate in its z-axis, so we can have a door which opens kind of like this. Because
Cool.
if we try and rotate our door here, it doesn't rotate correctly.
Yeah, makes
Quick
sense.
note, you can just click Control Z to undo something that you've...
I wonder if it's better to. Is there a way to like change the rotation origin? Probably. But why do that when you can just add a little cube guy, little tiny cube guy to rotate around? Just parent it to that. Easy peasy.
done if you want to undo it. Okay, so now that we've done this, let's go over to our event graph. And to use the timeline, we can just drag up here and look for Add Timeline.
This is the event graph for the door. Yep, the door. I'm gonna close these out again, but I guarantee it's gonna tell me to open it back up in a second. Let's delete those. Timeline. I think this is right. See you in a second.
To create a timeline, simply just double click inside of this node and it will open up the timeline. Then we want to go to Track and look for Add Float Track. The length here will represent how long the timeline is going to play for.
Where did he add that track?
And to use the timeline, we can just drag up here and look for Add Timeline. To create a timeline, simply just double click inside of this node and it will open up the timeline.
Easy. It's an add track. Float track. That is what he said.
Then we want to go to Track and look for Add Float Track. The length here will represent how long the timeline is going to play for. Let's just change this value to be 2. And then click Enter and our timeline will update. Next,
Cool.
we need to add certain moments along our timeline. In order to do that, just right click and look Add Key to Curve Float _0. And here we can add a node specifying its value and its time. For this example, we want to make the time 0. And we also want to make the value 0.
Okay.
So in our timeline, we have a node which is basically going to have a time 0 and value 0. We just want to right click and add another key curve, although we'll make this time 2. And at time 2, we're going to make this have a value of 1. To zoom into our timeline, because it's kind of got a bit messy, just click these 2 arrows and it will position our timeline correctly.
Okay.
Now that we've done this, we can just click in our event graph to go back. And in our timeline, we can see this new track. So this is a float track that we've made. And inside of this float track, we have 2 values. Time 0, value 0, and time 2, value.
Like to rename that.
value 1. We can use this timeline to make certain events happen. So we go back to our event graph. In order to create a door which will open over time, we're going to use another node called track. We have two values, time 0, value 0, and time 2, value 1. We can use this timeline to make certain events happen. So we go back to our event graph. In order to create a door which will open over time, we're going to use another node called a lerp. So we just right click and look for lerp float. So it'll be this one, lerp float, and just select it.
I think I do remember that lerp just means moving something or changing a value gradually over a set time rather than instantly changing a value. Oh, that might be what the timeline was for. It's kind of like a lerp in its own, but I'm sure he's about to tell me why that is not the case.
Now this lerp float has 3 different points. This alpha value basically represents what value the lerp is going to have. When this alpha value is 0, it's going to have whatever value A is. And when this alpha value is B, it's going to have whatever value B is. If we just connect our new track into here, because we made a timeline which goes from value 0 to value 1 over 2 seconds, this is going to be the value of our alpha. So if we made this value, for example, 0, and we made this value 10, and because we've hooked up to our timeline, if say we are at value 1 inside of our timeline, this lerp would have a value of 5. So using this, we can make our door open over the value of this timeline. To do that,
okay, makes sense. I guess you can't really directly use the timeline as a lerp.
We can just drag in our door hinge. I'm going to just drag up here and look for set world rotation, and just right click here under new rotation and look for split structure pin, and just hook up this value to the Z value. And then we just want to hook from
Makes sense. Update.
Update into here.
Perfect.
Now, if we head over to our viewport and go to our door hinge, we can see that its rotation is 0 in the Z-axis. If I rotate it, say, minus 90, we can see our door rotates to the left. So if we go back to our event graph, under here in my lerp, I'm going to make this 0, but in my B, I'm going to make this value minus 90. And now what this means is event begin play. Over the course of 2 seconds, my door is going to rotate from a value of 0 to minus 90 in its Z-axis. So let's just test this all out. So if I go compile, I'll just change this back to 0. I'll just select my door hinge and change this value back to 0. And let's just drag in this door into our world. And I'm just going to click simulate.
It's so tiny.
Event begin play. Over the course of 2 seconds.
I could probably delete that. Wait, so if I scale at the door hinge, does that also scale the door underneath it? Yes, it does. That feels like it might be a little too big. Oh, yeah, that's too big. Holy moly. That's probably fine. So I'm going to want to rotate this. Right? No. Okay, because it's already preset where it's gonna how it's gonna rotate. Wonder how you would change it dynamically. Like have the default be whatever its existing transform world already is. No, I don't know how I would do it. Okay, so I assume, well, no, I can't just do it based off of a key press. It would have to be casted, I believe, from the player character. I think. I'm sure he'll tell me.
Our door will rotate from a value of 0 to minus 90. So that's how we can just use timelines to make events happen over time. And that was just one example. We can also use our timeline to, for example, make our door become bigger over time. So if I just delete this and just drag off door hinge and look for set world scale 3D, and if I just hook from the return value into here, it'll change its scale in all of its axes. And we can see that my door hinge currently starts at a scale of 0.125. So I'll just put that in the A value and hook update into here. And then
You could probably do like get current world rotation, right? Get rotation. Hmm. Or way to like, no. Get world rotation. No. Oh, yep. Oh, and then maybe, hang on, if I did another one of these, add? Operations. Add, right? Oh no, we would do subtract. Okay. Subtract 90 and right there. Okay. Okay. I think, I hope that should work. Oh, he's going. Oh, he gave up. Poor guy. I'd be dizzy too after that. Well, get well soon. Oh, let's do maybe a do once. Mm, maybe it'd have to be, and then here. Oh, Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, because it's constantly getting that. I don't know. Because if I do this, if I delete that, that's negative 90, it's going to, oh, that was fast. That was very fast. Spell, spell it right. Operators. Chores. For this would be greater than. I don't think there's if case. I don't know. I really don't know how you do that. Hmm. Branch greater than. Like here and here. So if it's greater than, oops, that's not what I do. Subtract subtract by 90. Okay. So would this go into here? I don't think that's gonna work. I'll try it. I don't think that's how that works. No. Maybe that is greater than negative 90. That did something. That did something. Okay, that worked, but that's not the right condition. Not how to. Hmm. So if that were to like in some way I need to be checking this Z value. Maybe now I do the subtract. Subtract 90. I feel like it's just going to spin in a circle again. No, because if it's this minus, because what I thought would happen is that it's going to check if the current is greater than the current minus 90, then it would true and rotate. That's not right. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Really not sure. Maybe I should just continue with the lessons. Uh, make a bit more sense in the future. Let's go back to that. Yep, did its thing. Oh, I could make these. Hang on. I could definitely. I could make it a variable. Um, current door rotation float desired door rotation. I think this would work. Get current door rotation, get desired door rotation, and put that there. That might work. File. Oh, file, save. Instance editable. Instance editable. So if I were to come here, right? No, I would still have to set it from here. I could just do copy that. Wait, is this Z? That and That. Try that. Oh, that works. Look at that. Oh, that's amazing. That's a great feeling. Holy moly. What the heck? I'm glad that that works. Wow. Nothing quite like solving the problem like that and then it actually working. This is, oh, this might get it. This is a little bit addicting. This is addicting. All right. Making some progress here. Filling up the old noggin with some knowledge.
In the B value, let's just change this to be 1. And now if I go compile and close this, if I go simulate, over the course of 2 seconds, my door is going to change to be a scale of 1.
That's crazy. That's crazy work right there. Okay, here, let's at world scale 3D door hinge. Did he change?
0.125. So I'll just put that in the A value and hook update into here. And then in the B value, let's just change this to be
It honestly, it should still work. It should still do something. Aw. I guess it's a little bit too small to see, maybe. Oh boy. Big old door. That thing's huge. Okay. That was scary. Let's go back to this. I want to experience that satisfaction again. Having done something right. Yeah. Incredible. Incredible. Love that. So if I was to scale that up, I would have to make sure that when I place it, I need to have the current door rotation and the desired door rotation set after that. Oh, let's still do what he was saying, actually. Disconnect that, connect that as well. So set scale, door hinge. Okay. And just make another lerp. That there. G there. This was like start at 1, 2. File, save, play. Oh, it's growing. It was growing for sure. Start at like 0.15. Save, compile. Yep, there it goes. Perfect. That worked great.
One. And now if I go compile and close this, if I go simulate, over the course of 2 seconds, my door is going to change to be a scale of 1.
Gotcha.
Hello. Next, we're going to go over how to create and use a function. So if I just go control space and go to my third person character, we can use functions to collapse certain node groups together, and it just makes the workflow of our project easier, and we can also call and reference functions elsewhere in our project. So to create a function, let's first write some blueprint nodes. So when I press the 1 button, let's get our actors location and move them. So to do this,
Okay.
let's just look for get actor location. And then when we press the 1 button, we're going to look for set actor location. Where we're going to set them, let's just drag off this value and look for add. And in the Z, I'm just going to add 250 and just connect this into here.
Okay. So we're getting rid of this, right? Dang. What's here? Well, that's kind of a bummer that I gotta delete my work, but I always have it on. I always have the footage of it here. So take a look at that later in the future. Just leave it plugged in right now. And keyboard event 1. Test. Okay. That's right. Set actor location, get actor location, and add pin. Let's just add. Actor location. Actor location. 1 second. Hi. Set actor location. Okay. And get actor location. Actor location. Okay.
So I can make this a function by just left clicking with my mouse. You can right click on it and then go collapse to function. And let's just call this
the function.
move location. And now when I press the 1 button, it can do the move location. And
location.
This function, I can just copy this, and let's just paste it to where my player character jumps. So now if I go compile and play,
Sorry, you said what now?
if I press the 1 button, we can see that my character will move 250. And if I just press spacebar, we can see that press the 1 button, we can see that my character will and go collapse to function. And let's just with my mouse.
But 250. 50. Make like a dash like that too. Would have to be, I'd have to get the actor direction in some way.
You can right click on it and then go collapse to function. And let's just call this move location. And now when I press the 1 button, it can do the move location. And with this function, I can just copy this and let's just paste it to where my player character jumps. So
We're in the wrong spot. We're not supposed to be under BP door. Okay, we'll just delete all that. Wonder if I could still copy this. Let's delete. Let's delete. Third person. Hey, look at that. Yep. Just collapse to function. We'll just call it teleport, actually, because that's literally what's happening. You're just, well, just teleporting. Cool. File. Play. Amazing. Bam. I'm sure you could throw in a lerp as well to make it go a little bit higher. That's cool though. I like that. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, I can just fly. No one. No. Gravity comes for us all. Sad.
now if I go compile and play, if I press the 1 button, we can see that my character will move 250. And if I just press spacebar, we can see that my character will also just move up 250. There are a couple more things we can do with our function. So if we just double click and go inside, we can see all the nodes inside of our function. Next, if you select your function and go to the details panel, there is this access specifier. Right now it's set to public. And what that means is we can call this function inside of our player character. But later in another section, when we go to the blueprint communication, we can make other actors, such as this door or another blueprint that we made. We can also make that blueprint call this function inside of our player character.
Cool.
However, if we change this access specifier to be private, that means we'd only be able to call this function.
Okay, so if I were to come over here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so it's public. Yep. Change it to private, and then it would just be on that one character.
Third person character, and we wouldn't be able to call this function outside of our player character.
Makes sense.
So if I head back to my function, another thing we can do with our functions is add inputs and outputs. So if I just click this add pin, I can create a new input in my function, and I can call this location. And now if I just connect this inside of here and go compile and go to my event graph, when I press the 1 button, I can specify the additional location I'd like to add to my player character. So when I
okay, so and that came from just adding a new parameter. All right. Put location, say vector, file, close. I can close door. I can close that door. Now, let's get out of teleport. It's over here.
And now if I just connect this inside of here, and
Oh, that's right.
go compile, and go to my event graph. When I press the 1 button, I can specify the additional location I'd like to add to my player character. So when I press the 1 button, maybe I'll make it 500. And when I jump, maybe I can make it 200. So we can modify functions by...
Say that again. Sorry, that kind of went in one ear, not the other.
And when I jump, maybe I can make it 200. So we can modify functions by adding inputs if we want to change what happens inside of our function. And another thing we can do with our functions is add outputs. So if I just go here and add, we can call this
I missed it again.
location.
Didn't go back far enough.
And now if I just connect this inside of here and go compile and go to my event graph. When I press the 1 button, I can specify the additional location I'd like to add to my player character.
Oh,
so when
I
I
see.
press the 1
I
button,
see.
maybe I'll make it 500. And when I jump, maybe I can make it 200.
That makes sense. Okay. We'll go 200. Teleport. 100. Or get rotation. Collapse. It's not what I do. It's no. Oh, maybe split. No, I don't think that's going to be it either. Hmm. Forward vector. Tweak that. Combine struct pin. Get forward vector. Add. Oh. Not add, huh? No, that's not going to work. Just like do this. It's just going to be the same thing as that, right? Still going that way. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Great is Smith. I think it's okay to move on. Crazy. Okay.
So we can modify functions by adding inputs if we want to change what happens inside of our function.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing we can do with our functions is add outputs. So if I just go here and add a new output, and I can just call this did move question mark, and we can see it created this return node. And if I just drag this towards the end, after we move our player character's location, I can just hook up this return value into here. And if we just compile and go to our event graph.
Okay. Add output. Okay. Did move.
We can see that off of our move location function, it has this did move.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just drag off here and look for branch. And if I successfully do move my player character, then we can just have a print string which says success. So I can just change this to say
Okay. So we'll go back to the graph. Does it have to be there? Can I not just like do this? Does that not work the same way? Yep. Absolutely does.
success. And now if I go compile and go play, if I press 1, it will move me up 500 units and then say success. So you can use functions to make your project a bit tidier when you're writing some nodes. There's still even more that we can do with a function though. So if I just select my function, move location, and I'm just going to modify it a bit. So if we just remove this set actor location,
let me turn that off.
And on this return node, if we just change this to be a vector and just call this final location, and if we just connect this in, and on this return node, if we just change, there's still even more that we can do with a function though. So if I just select my function, move location, and I'm just going to modify it a bit. So if we just remove this set actor location, and on this return node, if we just change this to be a vector and just call this final location.
Okay.
And if we just connect this inside of here and move location to here and go compile. So now our function is going to get our actor's location.
Okay, so we want to do that. So we leave that one. And that, oh wait, no. Change this. Vector. Final location. There. It's here. That in there. Save file.
Plus whatever value we have here. And then it's going to output it here. So there are a bit of compiler errors because we just need to delete this. And we just right click and go refresh nodes. It will update our nodes. So I'll just do that there, and it's done that there. And now we go compile, it should be fine. So just to recap, we've changed our function just so it gets our actor's location plus the location that we put inside here, and then it will return that value. And the reason I've done that is we can change how our function looks. So if I just select my function and just check this pure button, it will make my function look like this. So maybe you don't want connecting nodes, and we'll just get the output of our function. So when I press the 1 button, I can just look for set actor location.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you didn't want the function to actually make sense, if you don't want the function to be what's moving it, you just want to use it as getting the location. That makes sense. That here said set it as pure. It was pure, right? I don't remember where he set it as pure. It's my bad.
I can just look for set actor location and of our function. So when I press this location plus the location that we put inside here, and then it will return that value. And the reason I've done that is we can change how our function looks. So if I just select my function and just check this pure button, it will make
function. Did I not compile it? Problem is here. Oh, it's right there. It's right here. That's funny. Didn't even see that. We're probably getting close to the end of my brain functionality for the day as well. Kind of the bummer about doing these at the end of the day is I got to go through the whole work day and come back and end of my brain still being able to absorb knowledge.
make my function look like this. So maybe you don't want connecting nodes, and we'll just get the output of our function. So when I press the 1 button, I can just look for set actor location and just hook this up here. And now I go compile and press 1 and press 1. It'll set my actor's location up 500. Although this time we're just getting the output information that we need. So sometimes you may want to have your function be pure, sometimes you may want it to be here, just depending on what you do.
compile, play. Cool. That worked. All right. That's probably a good place to call it. I know we're only partway through the node section, but there's a lot of other info. Looks like it's going to show me here. And I would really like to be able to remember it all. Yeah. So I'm not going to keep going while a bit tired and might be less susceptible to remembering what I'm learning. So I think it's a good place to just call it for the night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. If you feel like doing that after the fact, appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe on YouTube and follow on Twitch. And just whatever you'd like to do to make it easier to come back next time. So appreciate you. Have a good night.